music, by the way. Please play games with Apollo. You could save him from Tarkov. I actually can't. No one can be told what the Matrix is. They have to experience it for themselves. Let's just try true ending. Let's try a true ending here. He chose, and it's fine. You know, he chose the Tarkov fate himself. I harbor no ill will. If you like Tarkov, and what did I say yesterday? If you like Tarkov, now's like the least indefensible time to be playing it. It's the most defensible time. The wipe just happened. The game's probably at peak fun. I give you, you have my blessing. I'm mostly just poking fun at Tarkov, to be honest. I do discourage, well, discourage is not the right word. When people who have never played Tarkov, you know what gets me on this, and I'm trying to figure out where my coherent point is here. I feel like there's like a Tarkov psyop to convince other streamers and YouTubers that it's popular, and that is not the case. I think that there's some people that do very well playing it for sure, but I think is pretty, you know, spoken for as a lot of sweat lords at the top. Most of the people IMO who play Tarkov, look, this is too far, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I feel like their viewers would probably want less Tarkov, more of something else. Maybe I'm wrong about that, and you know, chat's not a monolith. We're not a monolith. So when I just feel bad for the little Mathis games out there, right? Already knee deep in Twitch poison when it comes to EVE Online, and then getting psyoped by people into believing that Tarkov is the next wave, and I'm like, man, it's if you want to play it, I'm not gonna stop you from playing it. And I had a reasonable amount of fun playing Tarkov until the spell broke, but I just hate watching it. So I mean, really, I'm not trying to be mean about Tarkov. It's just like, I'm just giving my honest opinion, which is highly negative. I'm not trying to wound, I'm just like, you know, if you ask me how I feel about Tarkov, the non-sugar-coated opinion is I feel like it is not my favorite thing to watch. Some people like watching it, there's no doubt there. I feel, you know what it is? I feel like it's, and this is to pull the heat off Tarkov to some extent, I feel like it's just one of those games that creates obsessives. That was great damage, I can't be mad about that. So like, people normally don't, and there's exceptions, I'm sure. People normally don't get like a little into Tarkov. They're like, when I'm into Tarkov, I'm gonna play like, you know, hours and hours a day. It's the same as TFT, it's the same as League, it's the same as so many other things, where like, I always look at, like Kate watches YouTubers and Twitch streamers who are not me, and I kind of kibitz, you know? I look at what she's watching and what she's not watching, and anytime there's like a new video, and it's a game that's like, she's never seen before, it's a weird game, she's clicking on that toot sweet. When it's when it's a game that you know, it's just like random League content, it's random Tarkov, it's like, that's where that's getting skipped over until maybe like it's time for bed. The exception might be Dead by Daylight. I feel like the Dead by Daylight content she watches is like evergreen. Hello, Ruka. Man said, give me something spooky. And every once in a while, because I think it's very tempting as a streamer not to get too inside baseball, because I find the siren song of something like Dead by Daylight always speaking to me as well. I'm like, man, what if you got really into Dead by Daylight? You wouldn't have to think about what to play so much. You could just, you know, go live and fix Jennies all day. And I think if you got that sort of personality, then maybe it's fine. But I always just remember, like, I don't know, I get bored too easily, I think. Even Repentance, like, I'm loving it, and it's really, like, if I'm being honest, all I want to play. But it did also take, like, 5 years for this DLC to come out, and, like, it's so far beyond everybody's expectations. That's what it requires to hold my attention. It's like it being a masterpiece, basically. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on Tarkov. But I also, like, you know, I'd love to play games with Apollo. But I'm not going to play the Dota Auto Chess mod, and I'm not going to play Escape from Tarkov. So as far as I'm concerned, that the ball's in his court on that one. I'm also probably not going to play Among Us. But I don't even know if he's playing that anymore. So we'll find... And I'm not going to play regular Dota either. And I'm not going to play OSRS. My one caveat is that it has to be something that, like, my viewers will kind of enjoy. No, it can't be EVE Online or Mancala or... I mean, you figure it out for yourself. Team Fortress, yeah, it's not... Preferably IMO, it would be a game that came out within the last century. You get a quarter there. What about Battleship? I would play Battleship with Apollo, no doubt, man. Put that on the short list. Genshin Impact? Oh, absolutely. I'm taking it so we can get closer to Spun. Clip it, clip it. I lost my holy card, right? Like, I'm in the market for one. Yes, that's correct. Okay. I would like to receive a key here. That will kill me. Wait, no. Blowing it up, though. Yeah. Hermit owns. What about a return to Mahjong? I'm more than capable of killing my own viewer count through ill-advised rants. I don't need the game's help. And at least when I have an ill-advised anti-chat rant, like, it feels good in the moment. Coming third in Mahjong 24/7 for 16 people. I don't know about that one. Okay, hold on. We're doing True Ending. True Ending means we can snag this. Take a little damage upgrade. Bro, where is my shop key? What game do you think is the most effective viewer count poison? Oh, dude, for me, it's a great question. I have to acknowledge that when I looked at my Twitch stats in, like, March and realized that, like, so much of my... I mean, it's public intel. You can look it up and see, like, what the average viewer count is for, like, PUBG and Warzone. And yet, they made up such a disproportionate amount of the content for, like, 3 years. So, I would say that's good. With respect to, like, long-term, definitely, like, BRs are up there, for sure, without a doubt. And then, the other thing was, it's pretty good, too. Story-driven games, especially once they got through a couple weeks. And then you kind of, like, had people that were adrift and just trying to join up later and be like, what the heck's going on? And you're like, oh, my name is Mr. Deus Ex, and he never asked for this, you know? That stuff typically did the worst, but it's fine. Death Stranding? No, Death Stranding was put out of its misery before it became poison. It was merely, it smelled a little off, rather than eat it all the way and get salmonella. And it was painful to do, don't get me wrong, but we put it out of its misery and put it in the compost bin. Not every game can be double switch. Words to live by. Just a single holy card, please. You got me. Fair enough. I think like with the FMV games, we just hit like the bottom of the well. The Double Switch and Night Trap were both very fun and also ridiculous. I had a great time. And then what was the other? We played Ground Zero Texas was the most recent one. Oh, and Corpse Killer. Corpse Killer was like, it was on the borderline of like so bad it's good and so bad it's just like fundamentally unbelievably boring. And then Ground Zero Texas was like, this one is like... No wonder they didn't do this one first, let's put it that way. So I think we're... But I am, you know, once... It has literally been like 3+ months now of just... basically playing Repentance and then other stuff. We've done a good job lately of mixing some variety in. But definitely I want to play some more new stuff. I check Steam 250 all the time. But here's, and I hate talking about Inside Baseball, believe it or not, because I talk about it all the time. But the thing is, sometimes people will suggest new games, and I think I've presented the dilemma in a backwards way. Sometimes people think when I say I want to play new games, the recourse is to recommend new games, which is fair. But then a lot of the time I look them up and they're kind of like, you know, they look like 5 to 6 out of 10. My philosophy right now is like, instead of playing an hour of something that's a 5 or 6 out of 10 that we're probably only playing because it's new and like it has a similarity to Isaac or Gungeon or, you know, something of that ilk, like, we're gonna just play FTL instead. At least until FTL's, you know, picked dry. When there's compelling new stuff, I would be down for it without a doubt. But when the new stuff is not that compelling to me, I'm more of the opinion that like, hey, let's revisit some old classics. Yeah, I prefer to play something that's a 3 out of 10 or worse, or a 7 out of 10 or better. I'm not going to say an 8 necessarily, but... What makes something compelling? You can, you know, you got the same sense. You can sort of smell it on the screen, right? Like, I'm not going to say there have never been games where I, like, looked at them and was like, oh, this looks decent, and then actually it's amazing. But there's also a lot of times where you, like, you know, you look at something on Steam or you watch somebody stream it, and you go, I get what you're going for there, but this just seems like kind of an approximation of the real thing. Like, it's not champagne, this is, like, sparkling Hollow Knight. Only games from Team Cherry can legally be called Hollow Knight. This is simply a sparkling Metroidvania. I'm good. I'm good. The game has to have that je ne sais quoi. Exactly. So where does Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance fit in? Fun time waster with friends. Does it compare favorably to the PlayStation 2 classic Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance? Some people might say yes, some people might say no. That's not for me to say. Son of a... I will say, if you want to play Baldur's Gate, or sorry, Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, it is free on Game Pass. This is not an advertisement for Game Pass, but that is always the way I would suggest playing stuff if you have it as your first opportunity. Only good items, by the way. That item is so bad I actually forgot what we got. I actually forgot what we got again a second after that. Let's take this devil card. I'm waiting for this run to pick up a little bit. We're not quite there. One good item would go a long way. And you know what? We got to deal with the devil fast approaching. Plus, we're about to get a holy card in here. That's a really potentially decent item. As long as you don't get hit by the spider immediately. I can't say the spider without thinking of when they introduced people in Tokyo 2020. From Poland, the spider. The giant enemy spider? Are you friends with Logan Paul? Would you hang out with him on the Tokyo Olympics game? Logan and I in many ways, friend is not a strong enough word for the relationship that I have with the Pauls. As part of the old guard in the influencer economy, I gave him a lot of, I mean, mentorship, but that acts like it's a one-way relationship where I kind of taught them things. But I really think that we taught each other stuff, which is even more important. Like, I learned as much from them as they learned from me. Would you box him? Oh, absolutely. He's ripped, man. Of course not. Are you crazy? I knew it. I knew it. Either of the Pauls would defeat me in a boxing match for sure. There's no question there. What about Paul Blart? I am in better shape than Kevin James, but I also think that Kevin James could beat me in a boxing match. Sincerely. Obviously, number one, like, he has a weight advantage. But number two, Kevin James also must have done some kind of UFC training for the 2013 film Here Comes the Boom. Where the most ridiculous thing of all is not that Kevin James is a professional athlete, but rather that he's married to Salma Hayek. Wait, no, they're not married. He's courting her. That being said, when you combine those two factors, I think I stand no chance, quite frankly. Also, I'm not saying he looks tough, but he looks like he could, like, rip a coconut in half with his bare hands. Aren't you, like, 6'6"? Close. I'm actually 7'8", soaking wet, smiling politely. Ah, I knew it too. No, I'm 5'10", but I am the real 5'10", which I know, like, if I'm about to ruin some guy's whole, like, personality here. So the height is a weird thing for guys. I feel, like, blessed that despite being either, you know, average height or maybe even slightly below average, I never had, like, a complex about height at all. Maybe because, like, you know, borderline everybody I went to high school with was, like, the same height. But I've realized, you know, as I've gotten older, a lot of guys say that they're 6 feet tall when they're actually, like I feel like if you're 5'8" or up, you just put 6 foot. Like, the number of times I've met somebody and they'll be like, you know, I'll be a little taller than them, and they'll tell someone that they're 6 foot. I'm like, buddy, come on. I'm not gonna like blow up your spot right here, but like mathematically, you're not a 6 foot, cause I'm 5'10", maybe 5'9" and a smidge. You're telling people you're 6 foot. You're shorter than I am. Doesn't make any sense. It's not like it's not that you're wrong. It's just weird. I mean, this is very judgmental, I guess, but it's just weird that you like care so much that you're telling like an egregious lie or something like that. Like if you're 5'8" and you tell people you're 5'9", nobody cares. But if you start saying like ridiculous stuff, like people might take notice and be like, obviously, like I feel bad, but this guy's clearly got some kind of like complex here. You see it in the NHL a lot. Like you see some of these NHL players standing up. Some of them are freaking huge. They're like trees, right? But then some of them, you're like, that dude is like just a hair higher than like the half boards, and his hockey reference page says that he's like 6'2", and I'm like, I don't think so. Is this allowed? Like, buddy, you're a professional athlete. It's okay to be short. You're still freaking yoked. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of guys be lying about their height for sure. Which is just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not in that part of the world right now, you know, where it, like it's a currency that matters for me. But I'm like, isn't it like the most verifiable lie that you could possibly come up with? Like, if you lie about your weight, it's very unlikely that somebody is gonna call you on it unless you're being like a little ridiculous and they're in the mood to be kind of a jerk. If you weigh 180 and you tell people, nah man, I'm actually like 170, nobody's gonna whip out a scale and test you. But if you're 5'8" and you say you're 6 foot, you better be like on your guard to make sure you don't stand next to literally anybody. You're gonna be paranoid for the rest of your life. You're gonna be constantly like bending down and like, I don't know, making people take photos of you where like you're standing closer to the front and they're standing closer to the back, like the Blazarian angle. Just weird to me. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be judgmental. I shouldn't, like I said at the top, like I'm I for whatever reason, I guess I'm just happy that I didn't get the cultural pressure to feel so ashamed of my height. Like, I don't know. Lucky me. That's all I got. You could just wear 6-inch platforms. It is. Do you know what I saw on? And I can't believe I just remembered this now. Have you seen that? I gotta frame this better, okay? I saw on Twitter somebody posted this ridiculous thing that was like, wow, wouldn't it be nice if everybody was like this? It would be so nice for short people. And it was like a social experiment / party in, I think it was in Sweden. It was somewhere in Europe, where they had different sizes of platform shoes, so everybody was forced to be the same height. Okay? Sounds kind of cool. Until you realize that I actually think that this is just a party where you get even more fucked if you're short. Now, instead of just being short, I have to wear like 18-inch platform shoes and walk around like a kind of circus performer or something, like trip over everything. And literally at the party, only one person is comfortable, and it's the guy who's the tallest to begin with. It sounds like something that was invented by like a tall king or something like that. It's like, everybody's got to be on my level, so put on these platform shoes. Like, that's... Like, wouldn't you... Yeah, you're accommodating the tall person, not making everybody, like, equally comfortable. I mean, I think I would be so smug if I was the tallest person at that party. Can you imagine? Literally everybody... Oh my god, that's bad. Literally everybody else that has to show up has to, like, get measured and put on a weird pair of shoes. And then you're just chilling there, like... You know... Hey, yes, I know what you're gonna ask. Yes, I am from Amsterdam. The thing is, you only get good items. Yeah, imagine... What if you're at that party, and then, like, someone taller shows up? Everyone else has to, like, replace their shoes? I will say, I think it's better than the alternative, where you have to, normalize to the shortest person and, like, walk around, like, on your hands and knees. That sounds substantially more frustrating, but... Either way, it's just weird, man. Just weird. Also, I think being tall kind of sucks too. I think when it comes to height, there's really like a very narrow range of like maybe 4 to 6 inches, where it kind of like you get all the benefits and very few of the costs. And then like if you're over 6'2", I'm pretty sure that's where it starts to be maybe like equally cool and annoying. And then over that, like I'm pretty sure that's where you start to be like, I feel like I can't even fly in economy anymore because my knees are getting freaking crushed all the time. Like at 5'9", 5'10", you want me to take a 10-hour flight? I'd be like, damn, dude, that's 5 movies. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Like, depending on what kind of airplane you're on, sometimes I feel more rested by the time I land than I do when I took off. My boyfriend's 6'5", I had to buy an extra long bed? Yeah, that sucks. Like, I'm... I'm really not jealous of tall people. I don't even think... I know we've talked about it before, but like, you know, I mean, if I could go from 5'10" to 6'2", would I? Probably a couple of years ago, I might have said... I might have said yes, but now I'm like, I just don't care. I get also, you know, I've been out of the game a long time. It's easier said than done. But I feel like if somebody was going to, like, discriminate against you because you were, like, 5'8" instead of 6 foot, that's also, like, the kind of person you don't want to get to know anyway. In your 20s, it doesn't really, like, feel like that, I'm sure. Or even younger. But, like, now that I'm in, like, my... I was going to say mid-30s, but we're not quite there yet. I'm like, if someone was going to be like, oh, I don't want you to pay for my dinner because you're, like, a little shorter than that guy over there. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go home and play Xbox. Sounds like kind of a nice night, honestly. Doesn't sound so bad. I go for PS5. Oh, well, hey, no, if you need a PS5, let me hook you up with that guy. You might still be in chat. I'm not trying to, I respect you, genuinely. I just think it's funny and want to play it up as a joke. The guy who was the sneaker reseller that Dan interviewed today, are you still in chat? You think you can get, you think you can get somebody in chat a PS5? Can you get somebody in chat a PS5? I'm 6'3" and buying pants sucks? Dude, like, it's the thing, let's just call it 5'9.5", okay? And 3/4. 5'9 and 4/5. Sometimes my toes poke out the bottom of my bed, even when my head's almost touching the headboard. I can't imagine, like, half of the population, the male population at least, is taller than me. Are your feet not poking out all the time? I have a queen-size bed. I do have, like, size 13 feet as well, so... I think my feet poking out from the bed might be more of a product of that than my height. Yeah, I'm kind of, like, built like a halfling. And I'm down with it, man. I'm okay with that. Huge head, huge feet. You know what it is? It's like that, what is that, like, homunculus where, it's like this is what your body would look like if all of your, features were scaled to the amount of nerve endings in them or whatever. Like, I look like that. Huge head, huge feet, and then, just very hairy. I'm 14, I have a king-size bed, and my feet are mad cold. Dude, I gotta tell you, kids are freaking tall these days, man. I feel like I am towered over anytime I see, like, a 9th grader in public. Also, yeah, wait, why are you watching this? Get out of here. But also, like, why are you guys so tall? Is it because your parents are, like, raising you eating fruits and vegetables and stuff like that? And in my generation, all we ate was Gushers and Dunkaroos and stuff like that? Also, you're 14 and you have a king-size bed? What the heck's going on? Am I being punked right now? Did you see the tweet that was like, this tweet made me so mad. But also, it was really funny to mine for a bit. But the tweet was like, you might be old, but are you this old? And then the picture was the Windows XP login screen. You're like, dude, you might be old, parentheses, 19, but are you this old? 23. That's just insulting, man. I'm that old. I'm not old. I'm not old. +2. Thank you. Thank you. Bro, I can't... Can you believe it? 2019 was 2 years ago. That's crazy. I know we said we'd never forget those memories, but here we are 2 years later. Life comes at you fast. Take Ocular Rift, please. I would like a holy card. I feel like I've gotten nothing done here. You're not old either? I know. I agree. But you gotta admit, if I keep getting called a boomer, I do get to assume the stolen valor of age, I think. If you don't call me a boomer, then I'll happily embrace my role as actually, like, still a pretty young man. I know it's hard to believe because, like, I'm young, but I've accomplished so much in my life that sometimes you're like, whoa. It's like, you know what it is? It's like when you, you know, go to Wikipedia and you look up Britney Spears and you're like, she's had such an impact on the arts and yet she's not even 40 years old yet? Like, it's crazy. And then, like, on top of that, like, I'm only 32, so, like, I'm even on the earlier side there. I will say, though, I had one of my first moments that I would say is emblematic of getting a little older. I was watching a streamer last night that shall remain nameless, but if you saw the stream and you get the reference, more power to you. They said, I hope time starts slowing down because I'm already 32 years old and I feel like life's moving too fast. And I looked at their webcam and they look at least a decade younger than me. And I was just like, fuck you, man. You know what you do there? You go to the chat and you type :_finger. And you put it, there you go, look at that. I'm not actually mad, like, he's a good streamer and he seems like a nice guy. But I was like, Don't say empirical facts like your age when you still look like you're in your mid-20s, you dickhead. You jerk. No, it was not Malf. Again, nobody believes it, but Malf is younger than me. Only by like 5 months, but he is indeed. Slipped rib. I will say, I came up with new Discord technology, by the way. Like, it's the most aggressive thing I think you can do on Discord. What if you just dropped an @ everyone or an @ here on Discord, and then the only thing in the message was the middle finger emoji? That's like the digital version of, like, mooning somebody. I can't get it out of my head. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do it yet, because I'll get banned from my own Discord, I think. But it's like the ultimate insubordinate power move, I should say. But I think it would also be like a hilarious energy. Like, I did do it to Apollo. I'm not gonna lie. I can't really remember the context because it was like a day or two ago. But I said, "Hey, Apollo," and then at his Discord username. And then he said, "What?" And I typed the middle finger emoji. Judgment. Yeah, it felt damn good. Look at the size of this rib, dude. That thing's freaking huge. You got something for me? It doesn't even work. Is he okay? Yeah, he got over. I think he... Well, I don't know, because I was in a certain kind of mood last night. I also linked him a game that I saw on Steam. And I'm not going to say the name of the game, but I will read you a review. Here's the review from Steam, okay? One moment here. The review says, "Give this game a try if you are even a little bit submissive, and definitely if you have a foot fetish." So I was feeling a certain kind of way last night. I was looking up all sorts of stuff to play on Steam. I mean, when it's like a 24-hour job, you know? I would like to use my death card now. Black Rune. Soul of Eve is very good. Soul of Azazel's pretty good. I feel like Black Rune is the most valuable, though, unfortunately. What's the name of the game? It has like a pretty Monka-esque name. Here, I'll tell you how to get there. I think what you should search is steampowered.com. Hit your spacebar once and then type in, "I think I found the bottom of Steam." And then from that is the top review for that, which should bring up the page. Steampowered.com. I think I found the bottom of Steam. No, this actually brings up Steam, which I didn't want. But it did bring up this game. Sometimes to deal with the difficulty of being alive, I need to believe there is a possibility that life is not real. What a strange looking game where you appear to be playing as a pizza slice. Anyway. Put that on the docket for tomorrow. Bro, you still talking about Steely Dan? Keep it up. I've been listening to a lot of old school hip hop lately, but the Steely Dan arc will return. I think honestly, like, I just need to learn to work the saxophone, and then after that play just what I feel, and then might I even say drink Scotch whiskey all night long and die behind the wheel. It's not enough, is it, Eddie? It's never enough for you. It's not enough that if you take Genesis, even if you go in the crawl space, you can't go to Sheol. You go straight to the cathedral. You go down, and it takes you up. What is this? Dark Souls 2? It's not enough that if you pop Mega Mush, and then you use a pill after that, you turn into a little tail, a little flagellum, doesn't even have a head, can't shoot, try to go into the chest, it crashes your game because it's trying to do an infinite recursion. It's never enough. It's not enough that the Holy Card gives you a fraction of a single infinitesimal iota of time for invincibility. So if something touches you, that same thing that touched you once can hit you again before even a single cesium-117 isotope decays. Now you gotta have chests that 1 second after they spawn kill you. Okay, very cool. / marker. End of repentance. The time has come for Zombs Royale.